My sister dumped her corporate boyfriend and stole my fiancé, all because she found out he worked at a hospital. Thanks for handing over a doctor boyfriend to me. My sister shamelessly brags about marrying my ex, but she's got one thing wrong. He's not a doctor. I can't wait to see her face when she finds out. My name is Beatrice. I have a younger sister named Catherine, just a year apart. We're not on bad terms or anything, but ever since we were kids, Catherine has always tried to outdo me. She's never satisfied unless she's better than me.
Hey sis, did you get your test back today?
Yeah, just got my math test back.
Let me see. Just as I thought, I scored higher again.
Whenever she scores higher, she flaunts it to our parents. Our parents often praise Catherine more, the one who's always seeking attention over the quiet me. In middle school, Catherine joined the same badminton club as me.
Let's have a match, sis.
By beating me, a senior, Catherine became the star of the club. Whether at school or home, Catherine always got the spotlight. Whenever I tried something, she'd do the same, always trying to outshine me. Still, I never disliked her. Her competitive nature was endearing, and watching her succeed wasn't so bad. But looking back, she probably saw my attitude as being smug. Catherine started to see me as a rival. I was decent at both studies and sport, but I wasn't the type to show off like Catherine. So I wasn't really popular at school. On the other hand, Catherine was always the center of attention, and often got confessions from boys.
You know, a boy from your class confessed to me. Even though you're closer to him, he chose me. Guess I'm more attractive.
Catherine believed that being popular with boys proved her superiority over me. She started dating multiple boys, sometimes even bringing them home to show off.
Sorry for showing off, sis.
She'd act all lovey-dovey with her boyfriend at home, as if to flaunt it to me. But I'm the type who wants a long-term relationship, so I wasn't envious of her frequent change of boyfriends. Noticing this, Catherine began to brag about the quality of her boyfriends.
My current boyfriend goes to Stanford. I also got a confession from a guy at MIT. It was hard to choose.
Throughout college, Catherine dated many guys. After graduation, she started bragging about their jobs instead of their schools.
My new boyfriend works at a listed company. A successful man is the best, right?
Eventually, she introduced her boyfriend to our family, saying she wanted to marry him.
This is Bradley. He's an elite working for a trading company. He said I could even quit my job and become a housewife after we marry.
Bradley, a year older than Catherine, seemed calm and listened to Catherine's stories with a smile.
Sorry, I'm getting married before you, sis. If I waited for you, I'd become a grandma.
Hearing this, Mom looked puzzled. Wait, didn't Beatrice have someone she's dating too? Yeah. I hadn't told Catherine because I didn't want her to feel competitive, but I actually have a fiancé too. Upon hearing this, Catherine bombarded me with questions.
Who is he? Do you have a picture? What does he do? How much does he earn?
I had anticipated this reaction, which is why I hadn't wanted to tell her in the first place. Seeing my hesitation, Catherine suggested a double date.
Why don't we all go out for dinner? You and your boyfriend, and me and Bradley. That should be fine, right?
I wasn't thrilled, but I figured it would satisfy her curiosity. I asked my boyfriend, Reggie, and he agreed. On the day of the date, as soon as Catherine met Reggie, she asked,
Where do you work, Reggie? My Bradley works for a trading company.
I work at a hospital.
A hospital?
Hearing Reggie worked at a hospital, Catherine's face changed instantly.
Why didn't you tell me your boyfriend was a doctor?
I would have preferred a doctor over a corporate guy. Without waiting for my response, Catherine bombarded Reggie with questions.
Which university did you graduate from, Reggie?
Well, it's a specialized field, so I'd rather not say.
Were you from a wealthy family?
My current income doesn't even come close to what my dad made.
You must have had an accomplished father.
Catherine left her boyfriend and chatted nonstop with Reggie. While Catherine and Reggie were engrossed in their conversation, Bradley and I had a casual chat over drinks. If Bradley wasn't such a calm and mature man, he probably would have snapped at Catherine and Reggie. Only someone as patient as him could handle being with Catherine. I hoped this would satisfy her. I even rescheduled a gourmet festival event I was supposed to attend with Reggie to the following weekend. I planned to indulge Reggie's whims on our next date. However, the next week, Reggie suddenly canceled. Beatrice, about our date tomorrow. I got swamped with work. That's okay. I'm sorry for rescheduling in the first place. We decided to spend the weekend separately. With a sudden free weekend, I decided to attend the event alone. On my way, I heard a familiar voice from behind. Beatrice? I turned to see Bradley. Oh, Bradley, are you here for the event too? What a coincidence. Catherine suddenly had work and canceled our date. That's just like me. I was supposed to come with Reggie, but he got caught up with work and had to cancel. Bradley mentioned he learned about the event from Catherine and was interested. Did Catherine know about this event too? I had a bad feeling. Entering the venue, my worst fears were confirmed. I spotted Catherine, arm in arm with Reggie, laughing and enjoying themselves. Unable to hide my shock, I approached my sister. Catherine? Reggie? What's going on here? While Reggie looked uncomfortable, Catherine seemed smug.
Isn't it obvious? I've decided to date Reggie.
What are you talking about? Reggie is my boyfriend.
Ex-boyfriend, right? Reggie seems to enjoy my company more than yours.
But you have Bradley. Bradley, standing next to me, seemed lost for words. Catherine glanced at him and said dismissively,
Perfect timing. Bradley, let's break up. I've fallen for Reggie.
Bradley's eyes widened. Are you serious? Of course, being a corporate wife is fine, but being a doctor's wife is way more appealing. I was too stunned to process Catherine's words. She had not only stolen my boyfriend, but also dumped hers without a second thought. I couldn't hide my disgust at her actions. Without any remorse, Catherine linked arms with Reggie and left. I can't do it anymore for my little sister, who doesn't even have a shred of ethics like that. I decided to distance myself from such a selfish sister. I didn't contact Catherine after that. It was 6 months later when she called me.
Hey, big sis, I got married.
Married? Don't tell me.
Yes, to Reggie.
She was reporting her marriage to the boyfriend she stole from me. She continued gleefully.
You're too plain for someone like Reggie. That's why I took him from you.
I had moved on from Reggie in those 6 months. After all, he was the kind of guy who shifted his attention from me to Catherine. I didn't miss him. I replied calmly. Oh, so you got married, so did he pay off all his debts?
That's what are you talking about?
He didn't tell you? What had concerned me during our relationship was Reggie's gambling addiction. He was deeply in debt due to his gambling habits. We were waiting for him to pay off his gambling debts before getting married.
I had no idea.
It seems Reggie hadn't told Catherine about his gambling or his debts. Catherine was momentarily speechless, but quickly regained her composure.
Well, Reggie can pay it off quickly. After all, he's a doctor. He must earn more than a corporate guy like Bradley. Thanks for giving me a doctor boyfriend.
I realized Catherine was still under a misconception. I decided to enlighten her. He's not a doctor. He's actually unemployed.
What? But he said he worked at a hospital.
He did work at a hospital as a janitor. It's all about how you phrase it.
But he went to a good college and comes from a wealthy family, right?
He went to a vocational school. That's why he didn't specify when you asked about his college. As for his family, they're just average. His dad, a regular office worker, probably earns more than jobless Reggie. Catherine was speechless, and rightfully so. She switched from Bradley to Reggie because of the supposed salary difference, only to find out that Reggie was just a casual worker, incomparable to a corporate employee like Bradley. After hanging up with me, Catherine apparently confronted Reggie. He confessed that he wasn't going to work every day but was gambling. That wasn't all. Upon their marriage, he had made Catherine the co-signer for his debts. Desperate, Catherine turned to her parents for help, but the debt was too much for her retired parents to handle. Next, she reached out to her ex-boyfriend, Bradley. I, who was at Bradley's place, answered her call.
What? Why are you at Bradley's place?
We've been dating since then. Hearing this, Catherine erupted in anger.
What? How dare you date my ex-boyfriend, you traitor?
Now it was my turn to be furious. You started all of this! I only started dating Bradley after you dumped him. Who in their right mind steals their sister's boyfriend? Bradley took over the call, turning on the speaker so I could hear. From the other end, Catherine's desperate voice came through.
Oh, Bradley. Long time no see. How have you been?
Yeah, I'm good now. Beatrice helped me get through the tough times after you left.
You're really dating her. She took advantage of you when you were vulnerable. You deserve better than her.
Bradley responded coldly. Beatrice is an amazing woman. Far better than you. I could almost hear Catherine stomping her foot in frustration.
What? Are you saying I'm inferior to her? I've always been better than her in studies, sports, everything.
Well, maybe in character she's superior.
That's not true. I've always been more popular, had more friends and boyfriends.
Having many boyfriends isn't something to brag about. A woman who can commit to one relationship is far more admirable.
That's just what unpopular girls say. You're only with her because I dumped you. I can come back to you if you want.
No thanks. I can't see myself marrying someone who only looks at titles.
It's only natural to know about your partner before marriage.
All you wanted to know was his salary, right? Even if you did marry, you'd jump ship as soon as a better offer came along.
That's not true.
Really? That's exactly what you did on our date.
I didn't.
Struggling for words, Bradley looked at me and continued. Even after learning about his debt, Beatrice never abandoned him. She was willing to think together about how to repay the debt and how to cure his gambling addiction, and she silently stepped back without a word of resentment towards the boyfriend who easily betrayed her. Seeing her, so different from you, I was increasingly drawn to her.
That's impossible, choosing her over me.
To be honest, I can't believe I ever considered marrying you. I'm just glad I realized it before making that mistake.
Wait, you can't show off someone plain like Beatrice to others. If you're going to marry, it should be with someone like me.
Are you an idiot? You don't marry to show off to others. You marry because you want to spend your life with someone, and that someone is definitely not you. It's Beatrice. With that, Bradley hung up. Then he turned to me. Beatrice, I guess that conversation was kind of a proposal, but let me ask you formally. Will you marry me? I joyfully accepted Bradley's proposal. Yes, if you'll have me. Our married life was smooth sailing. He told me, you can be a stay-at-home mom if you want, but unlike Catherine, I never aspired to be one. I love my current job, so even after getting married, I chose to continue working. When I was dating Reggie, I was worried if he would help with household chores if we both worked, but Bradley steps out saying, we both work after all. He willingly takes on household tasks. Now, I genuinely feel grateful for marrying him. On the other hand, Catherine still seems to be with Reggie, unable to break up with him. Reggie's gambling addiction hasn't changed. He occasionally gets a part-time job, but he usually spends all his earnings on gambling the same day. Catherine, far from being a stay-at-home mom, seems to be working all the time, day and night, to cover Reggie's share of the expenses. It's the complete opposite of the married life she had imagined. My younger sister, who was so fixated on having a better life than me, now seems to be far behind in terms of quality of life. However, it's all due to her own choices. Her current situation is the result of betraying me. The one who probably regrets the most is Catherine herself.